to handle them. The next speaker for the session is Mr. Neeraj Kumar, and without taking much of time, I would like to invite you, sir, to please bestow your kind knowledge on us.
Thanks, Mr. Rao, for this fairly deep insight in the attrition. I mean, it could have been couched in fairly scientific and technical terms, but the way you have put it was very easy to absorb for people like us as well as for the youngsters. Thanks so much. So coming to his point of LSA, an interesting piece that we follow in Wipro. So we have these long service awards, whereby if you complete 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, one is the tag that the ID tag that you carry, its color changes. Then you get a holiday package for with your family. So it's 1 night, 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days, and so on. But in the BPO, the Wipro BPO, it's just about 2 years. It's not 5 years. So 2 years, when you complete 2 years, you get a long service award. It may seem a little anomalous, but that's what it is. So that reminds me of another story. So we used to run these speaker communique sessions, whereby people who have spent quite some time in Wipro, they will come and address the youngsters and share their experiences, how their careers have grown, how their responsibilities have grown, how they could get more opportunities, and so on. So we used to have somebody who after 12 years just decided to start his own venture, which is a very popular piece in Bangalore. So he used to present a slide, a very innovative slide. So he joined Wipro in 2001, and this was 2011. We used to run the sessions last year. So this is a graph where he will plot the prices of gold, Sensex, and his salary. So obviously his salary has grown much faster than gold prices and the Sensex. So the message that he used to convey was that stay invested, don't be a day trader. So don't start changing jobs very frequently and so on, because if you're not investing in your career, the company is not going to reciprocate. He also had another interesting anecdote. One of his relatives, he was in a manufacturing setup somewhere in Haldwani, and he came and joined the IT industry sometime in 2010, 2011. So there's a place called Outer Ring Road in Bangalore, where some of the biggest and some of the smartest companies across the globe are there. So you have Google, you have Amazon, you have JP Morgan, you have Goldman Sachs, and so on. So the first day he was taking him to join, I think he was joining Intel. So he started from his home. So the first reaction was, "Acha, is JP Morgan bhi hai?" So after a little while, "Acha, Goldman Sachs bhi hai." So he said, "What the hell, man? Why are you naming these companies? You're joining Intel today. Why are you so worried about Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and so on?" He says, "No, but then I can quickly change jobs and probably I don't have to even change the bus." So he got a little more puzzled. He said, "You've just changed a job. And why would you start on your day one looking for more opportunities at different companies? Why not stay with Intel for the next 5-10 years? Intel is a great company. It is one of the most successful companies in the last 30 years. And it's a successful product, a series of products actually. Why would you look for something else?" He says, "You don't understand. I've been in manufacturing. My salary has not kept pace with the IT world, because supposedly people get a little more in the IT world. And that's not a recommendation to you. People don't get paid higher in the IT world. So my salary has not kept pace with my peers who have joined the IT industry. So I will probably, for the next 2, 3, 4 years, I'll keep changing my jobs. Once I catch up on the salary front, maybe I'll look for stability also." That probably is a hidden message, because that's how the new generation would think. And this is a fairly young person from a good engineering college and a good MBA, just around 28, 30 years of age and so on. So that's somewhere this is the message, that probably the priorities have changed. People have not changed. The priorities have changed. So something which was less important earlier has become more important now. So companies will look for more of emotional commitment earlier. They look for rational commitment now, because people also know that when the slowdown happens, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. When 2008, 2009, when the first slowdown happened, for many of the generation who joined the workforce post 2003, it was the first shock of their life. The salaries would not grow. Variable pay or the QPLC would not grow, or may even come down. Jobs might be at stake. Some people may be asked to leave and so on. People who had seen the 2001 slowdown, 97 slowdown were aware of this. It was the first shock for them. So companies also have reciprocated in some sense by saying that you are as good as the business demands it to be. Yeah. Now coming back to the topic on attrition, important for me personally, because 50% of my variable pay is tied to attrition. So it's important for me that I keep myself focused and engaged on the attrition piece. Uh, I'm going to use fairly politically incorrect terms here. It's a fairly informal gathering, your students, your buddy kind of group. Yeah. So probably some of those terms are not right in a formal structure or in a formal atmosphere, but probably because it's an informal gathering, all of you are young, you understand the language. So the point is about unhealthy attrition and healthy attrition. If you take a high pedestal, you may say that every attrition is bad, as long as the attrition is not due to reasons of integrity and so on. So every attrition, if somebody has come in and if he's leaving, it's bad because we invested in him, we hired him, we trained him, and so on and so forth. But if you look at it very objectively, very clinically, all of us in the industry, we differentiate between healthy attrition and unhealthy attrition. Now, it's not a very politically right term. So when we say it's unhealthy attrition, people leave for reasons of career growth, people leave reasons for competition, people leave for personal reasons. Healthy attrition, and this is something which was started by GE in sometime in early 90s, whereby they used to say that every year bottom 10% has to leave the company. And that was the philosophy of Jack Welch. He was known as Neutron Jack. Neutron bomb, as all of you know, doesn't destroy the structures, it destroys lives, right? He was known as Neutron Jack. So bottom 10% and it caught on. So companies have started doing stack ranking every year, 5%, 7%, 10% people have to leave. These are the people who have had chances, who have had opportunities and have not been able to scale up. They have not been able to probably take care of the opportunities and probably leverage the opportunities which have come to them. Then there are some people who are known as overconfigured. So there is a manager who is probably doing an assistant manager's job. There is a senior manager doing probably a manager's job, right? So these are the people who are probably grown with the company and so on. Companies these days are not looking very kindly at these because there is no possibility for demoting somebody. Companies don't look at demoting. It's not a government department where you can demote somebody, right? So companies usually would look for a package to try and exiting these people. So that's another, if I were so to speak, is probably another healthy attrition. The third part is the end of the road. You know that there's somebody who has probably served the company for 20 years, 15 years, 25 years and so on. But you know that is not going to grow beyond this. Somebody probably younger, and it's again a very clinical statement, sometimes it's very inappropriate also, but that's part of the job. Somebody younger, probably somebody with fresh set of ideas can step in and do the job much better. So those are the end of road cases. So these are the one, if I put two large buckets, so this is the healthy and the unhealthy attrition, right? In the IT industry or in Wipro, we look at how do we reduce the unhealthy attrition. Unhealthy attrition is something which sometimes is precipitated by business, sometimes precipitated by HR with different packages and so on and so forth. But the unhealthy attrition is where our focus is, because these are the people who the company wants them to stay, who the companies invests, company give them responsibilities, assignments, on-site opportunities, different client interfaces and so on. So the focus remains on how do we address this. Simplest of things, R&R, employee engagement, career path, and the learning and development, well-established framework. Most of the companies follow the same process. I'll come to as to how we probably try to do it differently. Again, a very incorrect or probably politically incorrect statement to make. The healthy attrition part is that you cleanse the system. So it's again it's devoid of any emotion there. But then this is the way to probably clean up and get some fresh blood in. It's also improve the productivity. You get people who are probably faster, who are able to do things much quicker and so on. These are the trends. Part of it was captured by Mr. Rao, so we didn't share the notes, but still probably these are the broad trends which are appearing and coming in the newspapers and magazines. So the things which are probably changing the way we operate and the way we visualize the society and the way society is progressing. A lot of greater mobility, which Mr. Rao addressed in great detail. People are mobile; they can move to any city, any part of the world. If you look at Wipro alone, we have people in remote parts of old Soviet Socialist Republic, people in Kazakhstan, because it's an oil and gas industry, where temperature on an average is around -40, where food is extremely different and completely difficult for somebody who is a vegetarian and so on. Very, very tough to go by. But still people are willing to go there. It's not that people are unwilling. It's not merely money. It's the challenge. It's a challenge that because you can still make money by going to US or parts of Europe. Reduced cost of communication is something which is probably again changing the way we work, etc. If you look at Wipro, lot of demand in the previous some 4 or 5 years back to allow people to operate from home. And a lot of and we started this process because we realized that if you do not allow this, there are a lot of people who require this facility. People who have small kids, people who are single parents, people who have some kind of disability for a temporary reason, or people who have been ill for some time, etc. We know that the tools and equipments are available, whereby without compromising on the client data or the client safety of his processor, etc., you can still work from home. And companies demand that people, if they work from home, make sure that the security part is well taken care of. So the newer generation would require, and I know that in 2007, 2008, when most of the companies did not have this work from home kind of policy, a lot of people would opt to work for multinational companies because they are fairly free in some of these. So Indian companies were slow to adopt, but now everybody has latched onto it. Easy access to information with the net, etc. You know how easily information is available, and that sometimes lands up into difficulties because people very easily copy codes from different companies and probably cut and paste it for the client, which sometimes lead to a lot of IP difficulties.